everyone. John Hallett here. I'm joined with Josh, and we're here for a special episode of the John Hallett podcast. We were talking about the culture, the community, what we're about here at Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness.
Yeah. So when I first walked in the door for you, you tapped me to be your marketing, your social media guy. The first thing I asked you is, what's your mission statement? Define your gym. Define it for me.
Yeah.
And I told you that's the hardest thing for anybody to do.
Because we're about so much here. We have our self-defense side, we have our fitness side, we have our citizen defender program, which is firearms training for the armed civilian. There's so much there. So many different people. I've always said we keep people safer and stronger. That's a tagline for my Krav Maga instructor, John Whitman. I've always liked that. It really kind of, sums up a lot. You're going to be safer, or you're going to be stronger here, or you're going to be both. If you're doing both programs, or all three, whatever it may be, you're going to be better. And that was really hard. Yeah, to really just sum it up in a couple of quick bullet points and an element.
It's so hard, right? I mean, that's the crux of all marketing, is like define who you are. It takes people years sometimes to really figure out what they are.
Yeah.
Or at least being able to say what they are, right?
Yeah.
Know what you are, but saying it's totally different.
I always say, I really started off in the martial arts teaching Taekwondo, because I couldn't go to the grocery store in Nantucket Island without parents going, "We miss you. We've unenrolled our kid. It's not the same. Are you going to do something? And you going to do something? And you got to do something?" And I also at the same time saw people that couldn't afford it. It's when I wanted to make it doable for most people. I mean, you have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Unless you hit Mega Millions, you're not gonna, can't offer it. And then sometimes you're like, you gotta pay something, otherwise you don't value it. So because there's not much. It's like, buy your own bike, kid, and you won't leave it in the street and crash it and not care about it. You'll take better care of it when you buy your own things. But that was, a big part of why I started. That I just wanted to help people. I wanted to make it affordable. For the common person, that it wasn't, just the kids that with the wealthy parents on Nantucket Island that could afford it. It was the parents that had to enroll one kid at a time, type of thing. So it was always hard when you nail it down. We've had different little things that we've talked about, or what we focus on. But number one from our staff meeting on the Krav Maga side is our peaceful warrior that I really kind of just brought it together. And you're like, hey, you did it. I didn't even realize I did what you asked all that long ago, was define us. And we're like, it's about the community. It goes to suck less, help everybody get a little better. It's not about you and your workout, how good you are as a martial artist. It's helping the community, the people coming in that lack confidence. Sometimes the people that become instructors, had a lot of confidence in themselves anyways. And it's an easier path, and they don't see that because it was just easier for them. They were the natural. We talked about this on the last episode. Defined that, it's easier for them.
Yeah.
They didn't potentially have to work as hard. That's why sometimes I love the person that really had to fight to get the technique down. Sometimes they're the better instructor because they can look at it from a different point of view, and they can give different insight. And that's why we like having different instructors, because you can pick different things up from different people's journey. So we're like, it's community. We want to be about the community. And number two, we train hard here, but that's relative. Yeah. It's not this boutique fitness where, you barely sweat, whatever it may be. Somebody just this morning said, oh gosh, yesterday's workout was really hard. And I'm like, oh yeah, Tabata, those are always hard. 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, trying to work as hard as you can, get as many reps as you can, and then try to match that again for 8 times in a row. That's a Tabata. And she said, really every day is hard here. And I'm like, Yeah.
Good. Thank
You
you.
know, every day should be hard. You should be challenging yourself. And it may be hard just to go through the motions that day.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to remind instructors that, hard for you and hard for somebody that's been on the couch, so to speak, for 20 years or more is totally different.
Yeah.
You have to, ease them through what they've done. And even the athlete, whatever, college athlete, it doesn't matter that they know how to go hard, but life has just derailed that. And then they're going to jump into that workout and kill themselves potentially.
They are, because that's what they do.
And even I've point blank said, don't kill yourself on my account. I'd rather have you back. And people still, like that person with that mindset is really hard.
Yeah.
They're the person that's probably going to come back. Somebody overdoes it when they're, new to fitness. And that's they might not come back. They might just, that was too hard for me. And you're like, I tell people, God, I've gone easy on myself after knee surgery. And it was still a killer. I'm really cutting this workout down because I've had knee surgery, and even that I was doing things. I missed 2 days, maybe 3. And then I was on a rower with that leg out straight where I was killing my hip flexor to row. I never did get to finding a skateboard and trying to roll it on the skateboard or something. But I was still doing things. I was still crushed from that easy workout.
Yeah.
So, but it's this culture around here that we're going to do hard things. It goes to suck less. It's not this easy feel-good workout. There's so many easy feel-good workouts out there that aren't getting you functionally fit. And you're not embracing failure. All these other things that in our culture suck less. You're going to be a better human being for pushing yourself.
Yeah.
So, I train hard. It is doable for you out there looking, but then I'm going, hey, you've done that workout now, our base workouts in our fitness side. Hey, push it a little bit.
Yeah.
Fix that up. Let's go up in weight. You train harder than you were a year ago, because so many people just continually do the same exact thing. Is that good? Yes, you're better than being on the couch, but make yourself a little better. Challenge yourself.
Yeah, and with you, it's you know how to get somebody to train hard. You will train the person who's brand new as hard as they can go, right? That's what you've always meant to me by training hard, is that you know the level of that person, and you push them to that level, right? So it's hard.
Yeah.
And then I can change depending on if they're brand new versus one of our guys, Mike here, who's an absolute monster. I mean, for him to go hard, for you to go hard, you guys have to take it up to a high level, and that's what we mean by it, right? We're here to help all train hard.
Yeah, you're going to get better for it.
Yeah.
And then we have our DDRR, dedicated, disciplined, resilient, and relentless.
Yeah.
And that, is a giant mouthful, and there's just a lot when you go and delve into each one of those things.
Oh, yeah.
But that's going to get you on the path here. For our black belt side, it's going to increase your longevity. If you're on our fitness side, safe from our Citizen Defender program, that you're being dedicated to what you're doing, and unpackaging that word alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just some of the feedback from our instructors and their takeaway from, dedicated in there. And then being disciplined. That's a hard thing, just to get in there and go, to not have the extra piece of cake.
Yeah.
The whatever it may be.
Doing that little extra minute inside of an exercise, just having the discipline to make sure that you execute every day. So you can be dedicated all you want, right? You can say, yeah, I'm really into this. I really want that to happen, but until you have the discipline to show up and do it.
Yeah, or change your schedule,
or stop eating this, or start doing that, right? I mean, it's about making that change in yourself that says, I'm going to do that, instead of I want to do that.
Yeah, or when things get hard, difficult, and oh, geez, like changing your schedule, getting up earlier.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, readjusting your schedule. I mean, it is one thing where more and more careers, some things you have to be there and be present. Like, I was like, you got to be there to teach the class.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that, maybe you're rearranging your schedule and you're hitting an afternoon workout and working an hour and a half longer because of the drive time, whatever it may be. There's just giant, like that whole package there where some people look at that and they go, that's not me. And you're like, stop being a wuss.
Yeah.
Because you're just saying, you're like, I suck. You're like, I'm being a wuss. Like, I'm not dedicated. I can't do that. I had a woman come in and go, I'm looking at these. I'm talking to her. She's like, I'm looking at these workouts and that's not me. She told herself right there,
wow.
That's not me, and she never came back. I believe she was a walk-in. She might have been an appointment, because she, one of the two. She didn't do a class, so she wasn't even an appointment to learn more about the gym, or she walked in, and it's like, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you can do those things. You're just telling yourself you can't.
Right? It's a self-imposed decision.
Like, I can't do that. I'm not that. I'm not fit. I'm not that person. Yeah, you are. I mean, just everything there. Building resilience, being relentless, like just, staying after. It's a fantastic word.
Yeah.
Because relentless, you can go, well, isn't that being dedicated?
No.
Yes, you can.
See that.
Yeah.
Going after it nonstop, right? Being relentless in the pursuit of it. I mean, it ties all of them together. Once you have those other three, that's the one that ends up pushing you. And
it's where people like, I got this.
Yeah.
And really, you're like, it's a lifelong pursuit. The martial arts of whatever nature and fitness. We've been talking about this. I don't know, what we are here. It's like it's all incorporated in that pursuit of. I want to be safe. It's not a feel-good course.
No.
It's a lifelong pursuit
of
I want something happens to me. It's just not this feel-good thing that I did for a year. I see so many people like, they quit. They think they've got it down. They've learned these things. And, maybe they haven't joined our Peaceful Warrior program, which PWP, Peaceful Warrior Project, that is the path to black belt here.
Yeah.
That it's that advanced training. You can touch upon technique in our all levels program, or our 101 is what we call it, a little bit for marketing, but it's all levels. The focus, is really on the beginner and intermediate stuff and prepping people to get into that advanced training. There's so many people, they want to stay there in that comfort zone, whatever it may be, but it's so much more than that. It's the higher level instructors, whatever it is, like people you want to, get the better car. That's an upgrade. Is it part of martial arts business? Absolutely. But if I want to get a better paint grade, I'm going to have to pay for that upgraded paint.
Yeah.
It is just out there in the culture. You want this, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I think our Peaceful Warrior program, should be. I know friends that charge, 50% more than what we do for similar things. We try to make it doable for the vast majority of our students.
Yeah. This is a small gym, which means it's really an intimate setting, which means you get a lot more.
Yeah, people don't realize
that's a small business. We're not.
Like, you could go and move and go, like, there's 40 people in your class, in your beginner Krav Maga class. And they might be 2 people that just passed their level 1 certification or their yellow belt, whatever it is. They might have, under 40 hours on a floor. You're like, I've told instructors, like, how many hours do you have teaching just gun from the front?
Yeah.
And they're like, geez. You're like, when you really look at it on a 40-hour work week, you know, it's a different expertise level. Sure. And I think people, they're trying to stick it to us maybe. We're like, you want the higher level stuff. There's just no way around it. That's the path to black belt. Yeah. In there at our school. Like, could you get there? We haven't had anybody do it that wasn't, training with me. It's our older instructor program, is what we kind of morphed Peaceful Warrior into, was my old instructor program. Those people were training with me. Yeah. They were getting that expertise in there. So it's our path. There's just so much to it. I think, it defines everything. What we do, like, like the traditional black belts and what those are. Sometimes the people are just paying to get their black belt. Like, they're in a program. I'm like, we're going to train hard. We're going to, you're going to do things. You're going to have to push it. We're like, hey, I want to see you in better shape. Push it. Yeah. Like, you've made some progress, but you've been flatlining. You've been 20 pounds overweight, and you've lost whatever, 20 or whatever it is. Your fitness level's way up, but I'm going to expect more from you. Right. Take it up when you're in that red and then black belt level. Like, you're complacent now. Hey, you've been here. Right. I'll push people when they get up into those zones, but it's, being that peaceful warrior. There's a fantastic book called The Peaceful Warrior. I think it defines, like, I'm just not a warrior. I'm a peaceful warrior. Mm-hmm. I want to do what's right. I want to protect people. There's so much you can unpackage in what it means to be a peaceful warrior. But, we've touched on that in the Suck Less episode, dedicated discipline. That's all what it takes to be a peaceful warrior. Somebody that is trying to just be better. That they know they can lose. They've pushed it. That any given day I could lose. I people are like, oh, Joe, all the time. Like, something happened here. Like, oh, and you're like, yeah. I know I'm mortal. You're telling you, it doesn't take much. That's where you'll look at stuff and we're like, oh, one punch could end it all.
It doesn't take much, yeah.
We're all human, all that stuff. So, a big part of our culture is that train ugly. Mm-hmm. It might not be great, but train.
Right.
Do it again.
You'll correct it. I mean, it's a saying.
It's a saying you'll hear here. Train ugly. It's good. Good job. Good. You're like, whatever it is, you escaped.
Right? Did you get out?
Like, okay.
Did you get the desired effect? Yes. Great.
Yeah, your technique was great. Maybe you muscled it. Maybe they were muscling it, but hey,
it worked.
You got a result, right? Yeah. You're realizing, gosh, that was ugly. What was wrong with that technique? Another thing from our Citizen Defender and Todd Fossey is fight IQ.
Yeah.
What it takes to win a fight.
Yeah.
Right? Time, distance, transitions, getting a dominant angle. So if you have a dominant angle, you get to the side where, like, I want to fight you from behind. It's stuff we've talked about, but Todd really defines it in a fantastic way. Where I was like, get outside the elbows. It's a dominant angle. Like, how are you doing that? But just that time. We've always gone, even just in a simple drill, like, you have time to do an advancing kick.
Yeah.
You have time to grab the chair and use that chair. He really put it in one really good package in there, what fight IQ is.
It works in all the things that we do. You can have fight IQ no matter what system that we have here, because they all plug together. But I always like to tell people, I'm not training you to be a gunfighter. I'm training you to be a decision maker. So you've got to be smart in the fight. Right? You have to have that fight IQ. Right? And that's the whole point, is you've got to be prepared to at least go back to what you know and be able to pull those tools out of the toolbox in those moments. And you like to do it in the moment, in a way that's instantaneous, right? And that's why we train it. And then we train it ugly because we want them to get there. But we train you to be smart. Right?
It's where somebody smaller can be somebody bigger. All because they have fight IQ. They know they need to. They can't blast right in where you just see a lot of guys just blasting straight in at each other versus
trying to figure out what might happen, right? Thinking about what you can go to.
Being a smart fighter, having that fight intelligence. So that's something you're going to hear around here is fight IQ. Failure is essential. Like come in and look. When you join here, I'm going to fail, and it's okay. And they're good with that. I always say even like sometimes some gyms just like to cater to the athlete. They want the competition. It's one of the reasons we dropped CrossFit. Like I didn't like where a lot of their culture now. Are they trying to redefine a lot of that? Yes, I think they had people leave over COVID, leave over some things the founder has said that blew up in social media and weren't acceptable. And I listened to a podcast with their new CEO, and I thought he was going in a really good direction. But I'm like, it's a little too late.
Yeah.
In their, my opinion, I don't want to be tied to what they're doing or just tied to somebody else's name. I think they're all over, and it's going to take a lot from them to get rid of that.
Yeah.
The culture. I'm trying to think of something but a lot of gym, like it's the competition. It's going to the competition. I'm like, beating the time. People constantly just race that they don't want to be last. Like, be last and have the best freaking movement.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to not. It's okay. There's so many ways to go about it. I mean, we, a lot of our workouts are, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and, or do this, a chipper, do 50, do 30 of all, of 8 exercise, 10 exercise, whatever it is. And nobody wants to be last.
Yeah.
And you're like, who cares?
I'm here to complete. I strive for excellence, not perfection.
Yeah.
That's me.
Fail. Who cares? A lot of gym owners don't want, they want the athlete. They want everybody to come in and be the cool kids in their gym. Everybody looks awesome. And you're like, we're about everybody.
Yeah.
I had on our, when I first had, we had our place on Nantucket, then we had essentially a cottage. It was a 2-bedroom cottage that I built because, I'm looking forward to that, resale. And then somebody turned this into a cottage. I'm using it for, our training studio, our gym, and we didn't have any real windows. And we had some posters in there, but when I moved to Castle Rock, where it was self-defense and fitness for everyone. Mm-hmm. Like, anybody can do this. It doesn't matter if you're out of shape or how that's our, it's, community first. And then, one thing, especially on our Krav Maga side, which is really morphing with Citizen Defender back to where I came from of, Krav Maga is our base, but now we've got, a lot of influence. We've always had influence too from other guys like Jeff Jimmo, Boss Rudin. People think we've done seminars and clinics and what have you with, but with a Citizen Defender, I'm like, God, Krav Maga is really our base here. It's a fantastic base for practical for everyone, whereas it's an Israeli military system where everybody has to serve in that. IDF, it's practical, but we have so many other aspects that we have here now that I really like. We're mixed martial arts. I don't even like that term. Something I really don't like. It's maybe well, everybody's doing CrossFit. No, I don't want to do CrossFit. So that made me fun. I'm like, I don't care. That's what the cool kids are doing. Everybody's doing this now. And you're just like, I've always looked at myself as a martial artist, but sometimes, it's marketing of what we do here. But we are a self-defense and fighting gym. But I just told a young girl that said she wants to go into law enforcement. She's here watching our class with her dad. And then I'm like, a lot of people don't want to learn fighting. But I always tell them, when you address danger and you counterattack, the big principle of Krav Maga, you're now in a fight.
Yeah.
Unless your front kick to the groin or your punch to the face, whatever it is, ended that fight. You now need fighting skills to get yourself out of there, and you need to have that fight IQ from Citizen Defender. We will go home safe. We will win. That's our mindset. I always tell people, when you're training somebody, it's not you. I know you're going to win, but can you please instill some confidence in the new person? 20% of the time we're going to fail, but if you're just failing constantly, you can't up it a level. It's actually, I scooped up one of my little guys. He's a camel belt, which that's a whole other discussion on belt levels for kids, because when he's not going to transition to the team program as a camel belt, they're going to now step down a notch. Not always all the way to white, and they have to kind of have, earn it from going in from our elementary to our teen to the adult program. They're going to, get kind of awarded in their first adult test, especially the belts. But this little guy, I had told a couple times, he actually pulled the pad away from a white belt boy on front kicks. Is what he was practicing. We were working high probability, and of course I had a little discussion with what high probability was. Kicks, free practice for 5 minutes, you do 10, your partner does 10. And then he pulled the pad away. I'm like, you're now the pad holder? You don't get to kick. You can just hold. You're a bad training partner. Here's a white belt trying to get his yellow belt, and you're pulling the pad away? That's not a surprise drill of some reaction. That's you.
Yeah.
Kind of being a jerk. And then we went to free grappling. And before we went to free grappling, I told them, hey, I told everybody, I'm like, special intention that we've got eye contact, that, hey, I'm talking to you, that we're not beating up white belts, different things that he's like kind of full on like, hey, you're doing, he was like front choking. I'm like, come on, little camel belt, you got something better than that? That's pretty primal. I'm like, and it's grappling, so he can't kick you away. And I don't even know if the kid's training enough to think kick the kid away.
Sure.
Given that experience, but I scooped him up and gave him to one of my blue belt kids. He's probably, I don't know, since Bryson's age or, 3rd or 4th grade. And I was like, here, take him. You know the deal. And after the other, he's like, okay. And I'm like, don't let him get up. Don't let him get away. And we did like good guy, bad guy. Good guy's gonna get up. I'm like, don't let him up. And then a couple of my older guys know that he's feisty. I mean, he's a good kid, but I'm like, sometimes he just overdoes it as a little boy. And I'm like, all right, here. But I actually think he really freaking like getting beat up by the older boy. Didn't do much for the older boy versus like, oh, he's wrangling it. I like how to wrangle that little guy down. But we want to win, we want to go home safe. But come on, we can't beat up other people. We can't sacrifice, number one, the community of getting them along.
Yeah.
Like that little egg I think I said on Saturday, like, it's a special instructor that's going to take the new people and, get them along. I think I kind of issued that challenge to our instructors of like, how many instructors have you trained?
Yeah.
Like there's a whole path for our first degree black belts that we have now on the path to second degree. I'm like, there's a big challenge here for you guys that you need to take on, and training people to a higher level and taking them on. Where I've taken you guys, like we need you guys taking those people on those journeys as well. So, that's our culture here. We really want to be about everybody. It's really hard, but I think it's your help has brought us along.
Well, thank you. I ton. It was all there. You just did not. You did not.
It's just like talking.
Yeah.
I can talk about the subject, but it's one thing to record it.
Yeah.
It's always harder to go in front of that video and go, okay, here it is, and embrace that. I think
that's super valuable for the school overall, and just even you as a business owner, a father, and a mentor, and stuff like that. Right now, you know the kind of effort it takes to define what it is and what you do. And I was really proud. Like when we were sitting there going through the meeting, I was like, John, I was like, I'm so proud of him. He just did exactly what I asked him to do when I first started. And, I felt proud in that moment. I really did. It was really good. So, what'd you have for us?
Well, I just want to end again, kind of from the Daily Stoic. I thought I read this morning, so it's like top of mind. I think about this one a lot, but Marcus Aurelius. Stop caring what other people think. Stop caring what they do. Stop caring what they say. And sometimes, like, when you're out there in the public and you're putting yourself, especially like our YouTube channel gets a lot of hate, a lot of know-it-alls, and you're just like, you have to look at it and you're like, who cares?
Yeah.
Stop caring. When am I going to get myself in the right place? Because we're all gonna get caught up in that. Marcus Aurelius talks about those things, and I never said it was easy to suck less. I never said it was easy to do all these things. It is not easy. I constantly this is not easy. We tried to have our little kids bow in a class yesterday, and they're like turning red and about to cry. Like they thought they could, be the assistant instructor and be that leader. I'm like, yeah, it's not all that easy.
It's hard
to teach fighting stance, to get up in front of people, to put yourself out there publicly. And I think this is like teaching athletics. I've always been pretty good at them. But I put in a lot of reps.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm like, yeah, I put in a lot of freaking reps. Like, I might be a good athlete, so to speak. I've had people tell me that. You're like, I put in a lot of reps. And just hitting the heavy bag. How many, I have well over 10,000 hours of heavy bag workouts that I put in. And I'm like, I just attribute it to hard work. It's where Coach Thomas, that was on the podcast, the Daily Practice Award. I love that. Like, I remember that one year they didn't give it to me because I think I got some other higher award, or I don't know. I think I was like, we had the Cape Islands in New England, the Cape Islands All-Stars. From all those leagues, from Division 1 to Division 5 schools. And I think I know I made it that way. But they were like, yeah, we're not going to give it to you. And I was like, man, I really am proud of that daily practice. I got that guy sophomore year. I got that sophomore year playing varsity. I think they gave it to me junior year. I think. And then senior year, they didn't give it to me. So working hard. That's what it's all about, I think. And doing this podcast is definitely, I think I tell you once a week, I don't know if we want to do it.
Yeah, because it's hard.
It's hard now. I don't know if people listen. Who wants to freaking listen to me? But I'm here. I'm just a person. I want to get better. That's the type of person, if you're listening to this, and that you're new to RMSD, if you're on our website and we're going to put this on our About page, I'm a humble person. Do I have confidence? Absolutely. But I know I can lose every given day. I suck, but I'm going to keep trying to suck less. Do you think that rounds it up, or is there anything you want to close on?
You talking about the podcast was good. When you first started and I put a camera on you, you almost froze. And now you can sit here and run one of these things without me if you wanted to. So think about where you've progressed. Now, there's still a lot of work you got to do.
Yeah.
But you sucked at the start, and now you're at a level where you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
So congratulations, you guys at least gotten there, at least, because now I get to be your coach a little bit. But there's still, we're not on a nationally syndicated show yet, so we'll get there.
Yeah,
but you have confidence in what you've done.
I'm just a guy. You're like, we can get somewhere. I'm like, there's so much out there. There's so much noise and great people that you can follow. I'm like, I don't know. I think I suck. I try hard.
We're preaching to our people.
Yeah, share this out there. We want to help people get better through martial arts and fitness. So, but there's a ton there. So, thanks for tuning in again to the special episode. It's really an RMSDF, Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness here in Castle Rock episode about defining our culture, but that really defines the Clear Sky culture. It defines a big part of what I'm trying to do. work wise, I guess, outside, I mean, a lot of it encompasses of really who I am, but, there's a outside job.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty quiet. He doesn't want to talk. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Share this with a friend.